good morning. Welcome you back to the geography classes. So I hope you have liked these videos, and if you have really liked it, please share and subscribe the channel and share the videos with your friends. So we are following the fundamental of physical geography, and this physical geography part. Today we are going to talk about minerals and rocks. Minerals and rocks are very important for geography. So you can find lots of questions, especially in prelims from rocks and also from minerals. Both in prelims and mains you can expect one question from rocks. There are different types of rocks and they can ask you questions based on the different types of rocks. So we'll start from minerals. Now, what is minerals actually? Before going to minerals, we'll talk about elements. Elements are atoms that have same atomic structure, same atomic number. So elements actually the earth surface, the earth crust. When you talk about the earth, both the crust and the interior part of the earth, they are made up of different types of elements. Okay, both the surface, this is the surface part, surface, and this is the interior of the earth. So both the surface and interior of the earth, they are made up of different types of elements. Around 98% of the earth crust, the earth crust है उनका 98% of the earth crust is made up of only 8 elements. It is made up of only 8 elements. ठीक है, जो क्रस्ट है अर्थ का क्रस्ट है उसका जो 98% ऑफ द अर्थ क्रस्ट है वो सिर्फ 8 एलिमेंट से बना हुआ है. And we'll see what are the elements. Before going to that, just know that interior part of the in the interior part of the earth, the elements are in molten form. They're in the molten form, and here they are in solid form. In the surface, they are in solid form because the temperature is low at the surface and temperature is high in the interior, especially in this asthenosphere, where we can find lava, magma. Asthenosphere. Asthenosphere is a part of the mantle, upper part of the mantle, weak part of the mantle, where we can find the magma in the molten form, and the elements or minerals there in the present, they are in the molten form in this asthenosphere. And at the surface, of course, they will be in solid form because the temperature is low here. So again, since the earth crust, 98% of the earth crust is made up of 8 elements. Now we have to know what are the elements. These elements are oxygen, silicon, aluminum, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium. So these are the 8 elements. These are the 8 elements that is making the earth crust. 98% of the earth crust it is made up of these 8 elements. Okay. Now next we will come to minerals. What is minerals? So actually these elements, these different types of elements, they are exclusively they are in exclusive form. They are not interacting with anyone. Oxygen is in exclusive form. Silicon, aluminum, they are exclusively separate from other. They are at the time we call it elements. But in nature, very rarely we find these elements freely. In nature, very rarely we find this exclusively they are free. These elements are free. So mostly these elements combine, different elements or the same elements combine to form minerals. In nature, we can find these elements in exclusive freely, very rarely. They are not freely. They do not exist free in a free in an exclusive manner. They will interact with different elements. Then they will form minerals. And in nature, we can find these elements in the form of minerals. Okay, it can be same elements. Element one, element one, it can form minerals. It can be different elements. One element can interact with element two, then can form another minerals. So now we'll see what is minerals actually. The definition of minerals is नेचर में एलिमेंट जो होता है एक फॉर्म में नहीं रहता है, एलिमेंट्स इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, एक एलिमेंट दूसरे एलिमेंट के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, देन उसके बाद वो लोग मिनरल्स फॉर्मेशन करते हैं। हम लोग को जो नेचर में होता है एलिमेंट फॉर्म में नहीं मिलता है, हमें मिनरल फॉर्म में रहते मिलते हैं हमें। जबकि 8 एलिमेंट मिलने के बाद आर्ट क्रस्ट मैक्सिमम 98% बना हुआ है, बट इनको फ्री फॉर्म में हमें नहीं मिलते हैं, हमको इनको मिनरल्स फॉर्म में मिलते हैं। नाउ विल ट्राई टू define what is minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring. They are naturally occurring, naturally occurring organic and inorganic substance, organic or inorganic substance, organic or inorganic substance. These are minerals are naturally occurring. They occur in the nature by a natural process, not by any artificial process. And they can be organic and inorganic. Organic matlab they may have carbon in them. Carbon may be there, organic. The source may be organic from dead plants and animals or the present living animals, plants. So they may be organic or inorganic. Then it may be inorganic because it may come from some source that was not living. Okay, inorganic. Then it will have a definite chemical atomic structure, orderly atomic structure. Orderly atomic structure. It will have a orderly atomic structure and definite chemical composition, definite chemical composition and physical properties. So this is the definition of minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances. It can be organic or inorganic. Then the atoms that is present in the minerals, the atom they will have a orderly atomic structure. The atomic structure will be in an order fashion. Okay. Then it will have a definite chemical composition and physical properties. Each and every minerals will have a definite chemical composition. The chemical composition will be fixed. They will have a formula, chemical composition, and a physical properties. They will have a definite unique physical property. Each and every mineral will have a unique physical property. So this is the definition of minerals. So what is minerals? Minerals actually the form, it is formed by combining two or more elements. Elements 1, elements 2. When these elements combine, they give rise to minerals, and this is the definition of minerals. Now one thing we can understand that minerals can be formed from the single element also sometimes. When the single element they combine, they can also give rise to minerals. Suppose the same element, element 1 and element 1 again, not two different elements, the same element can combine to give minerals. For example, gold, silver, graphite, etc. So they are example of minerals. Gold, silver, they are example of minerals where the elements are same. They are not different elements. They are made up of same elements. Now, what is the source of all these minerals actually? We have been talking about these minerals, giving the definition of minerals. We're talking about elements. Now we'll talk about the source. So from where the minerals comes, the actual source of minerals is lava. Lava from volcanic eruption, volcanoes. So the lava that comes out during volcanic eruption, they form from that lava after solidifying it. They give these different types of minerals. Around 2000 minimum, approximately 2000 minerals is there. There are 2000 minerals minimum. Okay, and these minerals are categorized into six major parts, six major rock forming minerals. There are six major rock forming minerals. Rock forming minerals. Okay, this 2000 minerals can be categorized into these six major rock forming minerals. जो rock होगा, rock के अंदर generally 6 major minerals पाया जाता है. तो इनको हम लोग divide करते हैं six major rock forming minerals में. So what are these six major rock forming minerals? They are feldspar, quartzite, pyroxene, amphibole, mica, then olivine. So these are the feldspar, quartz, pyroxene, amphibole, mica, olivine. These are major six major group of minerals, six major group of rock forming minerals. Okay, so in the rock we can find any of these minerals. Okay, in the rock we can find either a combination of all these minerals or any one of these minerals. Okay, so next we'll again divide these minerals based on metallic and non-metallic minerals. Minerals can be again divided into metallic and non-metallic minerals. Now metallic minerals means they will contain metal in them. Metallic means they will be these minerals will form metals. So what kind of metallic minerals? It can be again divided into precious metals, then ferrous metals, non-ferrous metals. Non-ferrous metals. So precious metals, it means they are precious, they are very costly. So what are the metals that are very costly? We can say that these are gold, platinum, silver. They are costly. So we categorize those metals into precious metals. And the metals that contain iron, metals that contain iron, and other metals that can be combined with iron to form steel. Actually, it is iron. Ferrous metals means iron, and other minerals, other minerals that can be combined, other metals that can be combined with iron to give rise to form steel. Those comes under ferrous metals. The non-ferrous metals, they do not contain iron, like aluminum, copper. Okay, aluminum, copper, they are non-ferrous metals. Again, when you talk about non-metallic minerals, these are also minerals, but they are non-metallic. They do not form metals. For example, nitrites, phosphates, sodium, all this. They are not metals, but they are also minerals. So if you have seen cement, cement is actually a mixture of the non-metallic minerals. The cement that we use in building, that is actually a mixture of these non-metallic minerals. Now we have classified the minerals. We have talked about the minerals. We have seen how the minerals are formed, the definition of minerals, then the properties of minerals. Then we have talked about the different six major rock forming minerals. Now we are the next topic will be rocks. Now we are going to talk about rocks. Now what is rock? The earth crust is mostly made up of rock. In the beginning, it was covered by rocks. So rocks later, after weathering process, after degradation, erosional processes, it started to form soil, and the soil gave rise to different types of landforms that we can see now. So in the beginning, rocks. From where the rocks come? Actually, rocks are combination of minerals. They are combination of minerals. There can be one mineral inside the rock. A rock can be formed by one mineral or more than one mineral. ठीक है, एक रॉक में एक मिनरल भी हो सकते हैं, फिर उससे ज्यादा भी मिनरल हो सकते हैं. There is not a fixed formula that one rock should contain this much amount of mineral. It may be one mineral or it may be more than one mineral. So rocks are made up of different types of minerals, one or more type of minerals. First of all, and what is the science of rock? It is called petrology. Petrology is the science of rock. The people who study about rock, they are known as petrologists. So petrology, what they do actually in petrology, they study all the features or all the characteristics of rocks, like the origin of rocks, from where the rocks has come, origin of rocks, then the properties of rocks, mineral constituent, then their grain size. Okay, so all these things, it is a study of the for the petrologist. The petrology, in the science of petrology, that is the science of rock. They study all these things about rocks. They see the rock from each and every aspect, both chemically and physically. Now since we have seen the rocks, we know what is rock now. Then again, we'll talk about the why it is important for a geographer to study rock. Rock इतना जरूरी क्यों है हम लोग को पढ़ने के लिए? Because geography is concerned about earth. As you see from the definition also only, geo means earth, graphy means description. So we are more concerned about earth. And this earth is made up of both aquatic terrestrial and both aquatic ecosystem. It is made up of both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, and this terrestrial part is actually land. This is land. And how land forms? Land forms from the first step is formation of soil. Soil is the first step in the formation of land. Okay. Then land will give rise to landforms. Different types of landforms based on the climatic condition and other agents, erosional agents, depositional agents. So this soil will come from rock. The formation of soil directly depends on rock. Rock is one of the parent material that decides the formation of rock soil. That's why we need to study about rocks. Since we have to know about the earth, for that we have to know about rocks. Because of that, we are studying rocks thoroughly. Now, in rocks, again, we can classify, we can categorize the rocks into three different parts. All the rocks, you can see rocks into different forms and different types. They may be, some of the rocks may be very hard, some of the rocks may be very soft. Then again, some of the rock may be very dark, and some of the rock may be very milky white. So, for example, very hard rock is, if I give an example of very hard rock, it can be granitic rock. Granite is one of the very hard rock. Okay, it is we can find it from this igneous. It is formed from the igneous rock. We'll talk about igneous rock, then hard rock. Then example of soft rock, soapstone, soapstone. So they are very soft rock. Okay, granite then soapstone. That is used for the making of soap. Hard. Then again, according to color also, it can be different. It can be very black, dark. For example, gabbro. They are the rocks. They are very dark, black in color. And again, it can be milky white, like quartzite rock. Okay, so there are a variety of rocks. What I mean to say is that there are a variety of rocks. Rocks can be of different types. Okay, and some of them may be very hard, and some of them may be very soft, and some of them they may be differ in their color. Again, one thing you have to remember that most of the rocks on the earth surface, most of the rocks on the surface of the earth, they are mostly made up of two major elements, that is minerals, that is feldspar and quartz. Mostly, see, there are six major mineral groups for rock formation, but mostly in most of the rocks we can find these two feldspar and quartz. These two minerals are available in most of the rocks on the surface of the earth. So next we are going to categorize the rocks into different parts, different types of rocks. So based on the mode of formation, how the rocks have formed, how it has originated, from where it has come. So based on the mode of formation, we can categorize the rocks into three types. Rocks can be categorized into three types. One is igneous rock, then sedimentary rock, then next is metamorphic rock. So these are the three types of rocks. All the rocks that is present on the surface of the earth, we can classify these rocks into these three parts: igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rock. Now we are going to see each and every rock. We are going to understand the different types of rocks, their origin, the source of origin, and their characteristics, features. Now igneous rock. Igneous means the ignite. The word igneous comes from the word ignite. Ignite means fire. So this fire, from fire, ignite fire, you can say that it has come, the source is lava. Since lava is very hot, warm, molten, pyroclastic debris, so it is fire, made up of fire means lava. So when the lava comes out during the eruption, during volcanic eruption, when the lava comes out, they get solidified and they give rise to rocks that is known as igneous rock. Again, this igneous rock can be solidified outside this crater. When it comes out outside from the crater, outside the volcanic structure, it can solidify outside the structure. Then Again, some of the lava, sometimes the lava can solidify within the crust itself. They do not come out through the crater. They get solidified within the crust itself. Okay, as we have seen in the previous class that this kind of rocks are known as volcanic rocks, and the rocks that get solidified within the crust they are known as plutonic rocks, and they later gave rise to different types of intrusive forms. Now let's see this one. The lava that will come outside, they will get solidified very fastly because the temperature here is very low compared, not very low compared to the inside temperature. Compared to the temperature within the crust, the temperature outside will be low. So this lava will get solidified very fastly, and the temperature within this crust will be high. The temperature within this crust will be high. For that reason, this lava will solidify but at a very slow speed. So the lava that gets solidifies very fast. They form smooth grains. They form smooth, soft rocks. Smooth and soft grains. Okay, smooth, soft, small grains. And the lava that gets solidified within the crust, they form large grains, large rough grains. So accordingly, we can classify the igneous rock, two types of rocks. One that is from outside the volcanic structure, that is volcanic rock. They are smooth, soft grains. They are soft in structure. And the plutonic rocks, they are rough, large and rough grains. The grains within the rock, जो रॉक के अंदर है उसमें बहुत सारा ग्रेन होता है, वो ग्रेन एक्चुअली लार्ज होगा किसमें, इसमें प्लूटोनिक रॉक्स में। और जो रॉक्स होगा बाहर, उसमें जो ग्रेन्स होगा वो स्मॉल होगा, छोटा होगा ग्रेन्स। जो ग्रेन जो पत्थर के अंदर जो छोटा छोटा डॉट डॉट मिलते हैं वो दे आर ग्रेन्स, एंड इट विल बी स्मूथ एंड सॉफ्ट विद इन द रॉक. So according to that, according to the formation of the, whether it is forming outside or inside, accordingly we can classify it into two types. One is volcanic rock, one is plutonic rock. Then again, the source of igneous rock is lava again. You have to remember it. Now the next rock is sedimentary rock. Sedimentary. The word sedimentary has come from the word sedimentum. Sedimentum means settling. Sedimentum matlab settle ho jana. Now how sedimentary rocks are formed? Sedimentary rocks are formed because of various denudational agents, erosional and denudational agents. Erosional agents like river water, running water, groundwater, glaciers, wind, all those things, what they do, these erosional agents, they bring the rocks, fragmented part of the rocks. Suppose one rock, it may be igneous rock, or it can be sedimentary rock, or it can be metamorphic rock. When it is present over the surface of the earth, it will come under the pressure of different types of exogenic forces. Different types of exogenic forces will act on these rocks. As I have mentioned, the agents, different types of agents like running water, they will act, they will weather it, they will take out, they will mechanically disintegrate it. Okay, they will make fragments, different types of fragments. After the breaking down of the rock, different types of fragments will form from metamorphic rocks. One has from sedimentary rock, and another has from igneous rock. Now again, these fragments will be brought by running water or any other agents like wind or glacier, and it will get deposited in some other part. Suppose this layer has been made by deposition of igneous rock, and this was made by the sediments of sedimentary rock, and this layer is made up of the sediment fragments of metamorphic rocks. Now after a long time, they will get compact. These sediments, the deposited sediments will compact because of some different types of formation of bones among these minerals. So because of that, they will compact and they will form a hard rock. And this process of formation of new rock from the different types of rock is called lithification. Lithification is the process of formation of different types of rock. Now, how the lithification takes place? Lit means stone. Okay, lit means stone. Fication means formation of stones. Now, how these stones has formed? Because of these erosional agents, when they brought these different types of fragments of different rocks, they got deposited in some other place, and they got, because of the compaction pressure, because of the force of pressure and change in the climatic conditions, they will form bond among these different types of minerals, and they will form a compact rock, and that rock will be a new sedimentary rock. This will be a new sedimentary rock. That is how sedimentary rocks are formed, and the process is known as lithification. The formation of rock, the process is known as lithification. Now we'll see that we'll classify again. This sedimentary rocks can be classified based on the formation, how it is formed. So this Sedimentary rocks can be formed both mechanically, organically, and chemically. Mechanically means crushing, breaking down of the rocks. So sedimentary, for example, mechanically formed rocks are sandstones. Sandstones. So sandstone, if you go to different types of architecture, old architecture in the Mughal period or Delhi Sultanate times, they are mostly made up of sandstones. If you see the red fort, they are mostly made up of sandstones. So sandstone is an example of mechanically formed sedimentary rock. Then organically formed coal are organically formed. The coal are also kind of rocks, sedimentary rocks, and they are organically formed means they are made up of life, living objects, living things, plants. They have made from plants, so they are organically formed sedimentary rocks. Then again, chemically formed maybe limestone. Limestone is chemically formed. Okay, the chemicals that is present in limestone is mostly calcium carbonate. The calcium carbonate they combine to form limestone. So they are the different types of sedimentary rocks. We can classify the sedimentary rocks into uh, mechanically formed, organically formed, and chemically formed. Okay, these are the examples of the different types of formation of rocks, sedimentary rocks. And the last one is the metamorphic rocks. Now, what is metamorphic? Metamorphic, the meaning kya hai? What is the meaning of metamorphic? Metamorph means change of form. The meaning of metamorph is change of form. Change of form. अब किसका form change हो रहा है? Changing of different types of rocks, the forms of different types of rocks, igneous rock, sedimentary rock, or metamorphic rock itself, when they change its form. Okay, both chemically and physically. It can be both chemically and physically. Chemically, when it changes chemically, we call it recrystallization. Recrystallization means the chemicals within the rock, they are recrystallizing, they are changing their chemical structure. Recrystallization, the minerals within the rock, they will recrystallize, they will change chemically. And when it changes only physically, we call it reorganization. Reorganization of minerals within the rock. There will be recrystallization and reorganization of minerals within the rock. Okay, recrystallization means there will be chemical change of the grains of the minerals within the rock, and there will be physical change when they will get organized. The minerals or grains get organized within the rock because of some physical pressure. So they will lead to the formation of new kind of rock that will be known as metamorphic rocks. Now, how it takes place, how recrystallization and reorganization takes place? There are three factors: pressure, change in the pressure, volume, and temperature. So when we change drastically, when there is a drastical change of pressure, volume, and temperature, there will be some stress. There will be stress in the rock. It may be physical or it may be chemical. So when there is stress, they will change their form, and the new type of rock that will be formed is known as metamorphic rocks. So there are the different types of rocks. Again, metamorphic rocks can be classified into two types. One is dynamic metamorphism, another is thermal metamorphism. Dynamic metamorphism, another is thermal metamorphism. Now, dynamic, when we crush the rock, when you break it mechanically, when you crush the rock, when you break it mechanically under very high pressure, so mostly we can see reorganization of the minerals, reorganization of the chemical constituents within the rock. But there is not very, we cannot see much of the chemical changes within the rock. We cannot see chemical changes within the rock. We can only see mechanical disintegration, mechanical breaking down, crushing, and reorganization, physically reorganize the minerals within the rock. But there is very less chemical changes. So this kind of metamorphic rocks that is formed because of physical crushing and mechanical breaking, disintegration, change in the pressure, they are known as dynamic. This kind of rocks are known as dynamic metamorphism. The process is known as dynamic metamorphism. And in thermal metamorphism, when we can say chemical changes, when there will be chemical changes means recrystallization within the rock. When there will be chemical change within the rock, and a new rock will form, that will be a new metamorphic rock. So thermal metamorphism is the process of metamorphism when there will be a chemical change. There will be chemical change within the rock. We can say the recrystallization within the rock. So again, it can be divided into thermal, can be divided into contact metamorphism and regional metamorphism. Contact metamorphism and regional metamorphism. Now, how thermal? Thermal means heat. So contact metamorphism. In contact metamorphism, how the rocks changes when the surface rock, जो सरफेस पे रॉक है, व्हेन द सरफेस रॉक, जो सरफेस रॉक है वो जब कांटेक्ट में आएंगे किसके, लावा के, जब लावा बाहर निकल के आया है और जो लावा जब कांटेक्ट में आएंगे बाहर के रॉक के साथ, तो क्या होगा, इस जो रॉक है इसका टेम्परेचर बहुत चेंजेस होगा, ऊपर वाला सरफेस वाला जो सरफेस है रॉक का उसका टेम्परेचर चेंज होगा। इसके वजह से उस देयर विल बी वहां पर केमिकल चेंजेस भी होगा, सरफेस रॉक के ऊपर केमिकल चेंजेस भी होगा। इसके वजह से जो यहाँ पर मेटामॉर्फिज्म हो रहा है टेम्परेचर की वजह से, वी हैव सीन प्रेशर, वॉल्यूम एंड टेम्परेचर। सो यहाँ पर टेम्परेचर की वजह से जो चेंजेस आ रहा है डेट विल रिक्रिस्टलाइज द मिनरल्स, ये जो अंडर मिनरल्स है उसको रिक्रिस्टलाइज करेंगे, केमिकली चेंज करेंगे, उसके वजह से मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स बनेंगे। ठीक है। Another is regional metamorphism. A are contact metamorphism only for volcanoes. Because of volcanoes, it is taking place. The lava, when it comes in contact with the surface rock, they change the chemical structure of the rock and give rise to metamorphic rocks. And in regional metamorphism, what happens because of the tectonic activity? Tectonic activity means earthquake. Tectonic activity की वजह से क्या, जो shearing stress, shearing stress, breaking down of all these things happen within the rock. Again, there will be change in the pressure volume change होगा, and if at the same time there is changes in the temperature also, if because of other factor there is changes in the temperature also, so it will again give rise to a new kind of rock, that will be again a new metamorphic rock from the old rock. Okay, so these are the different types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Remember that igneous rock, the source is lava, volcanic lava. Sedimentary rocks, they are from on the surface of the earth only. Okay, how? By breaking down of different types of rocks, both mechanically and chemically. So when the rocks get mechanically disintegrated into fragments, they get collected in some depression, they get deposited there, and through the process of lithification, they get compact and they form a hard rock called sedimentary rock. Then again, metamorphic rocks means change in the form. Okay, any kind of rock can form a metamorphic rock. From any kind of rock, we can form metamorphic rock. When we change the form, we can chemically change it or physically change it. When you change it chemically, it is known as recrystallization, and when we change it physically, it is known as reorganization. So there are different types of metamorphic process: dynamic and thermal metamorphism. So what happens actually? There is a change in pressure, volume, and temperature. When there is a drastic change in pressure, volume, and temperature, the rock will change both from within and from outside, and it will give rise to metamorphic rocks. So the next topic is rock cycle. These are different types of rocks. In the next topic, we are going to talk about the cycle of rock. Now, what is actually rock cycle? In rock cycle, we are going to see that how one form of rock is changing to another form of rock, how one form of rock can get converted into, transform into another form of rock. We have seen the different types of rocks, right? Igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rock. Okay, these three types of rock can get transformed from one form to another form. This transformation means this different types: igneous rock, sedimentary rock, then metamorphic rock. Actually, in the nature, they can change their form from one form to another. This igneous can become sedimentary, sedimentary can become metamorphic. Again, the igneous can become metamorphic, metamorphic can become sedimentary. Again, it can become igneous. So there is change in the form. The different types of rocks can transform from one form to another form. एक रॉक सिर्फ एक ही नहीं रहेगा हमेशा, ये अपने आप को ड्यूरिंग द जियोलॉजिकल पीरियड, मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स का जो जियोलॉजिकल पीरियड है, ये जियोलॉजिकल पीरियड में ये जो रॉक हमें मिलता है ये अपना स्ट्रक्चर चेंज करके एक फॉर्म से दूसरे फॉर्म में आ सकते हैं। इग्नियस रॉक सेडिमेंट्री हो जाएंगे, सेडिमेंट्री रॉक इग्नियस हो जाएंगे, then again it can, these two rocks can form again metamorphic rocks, then again metamorphic rocks can become, say, igneous rock. So this cycle of transformation of one form of rock into another form of rock is known as rock cycle. Now we're going to see how this rock cycle actually takes place, the mechanism of rock cycle. We'll understand it with a diagram. This is the igneous rock, and as we know, the source is lava. What is the source of igneous rock? It is lava from volcanic eruption. Okay. Now, after a long time period, what will happen? There will be some erosional agents will act on the igneous rock. Erosional agents, geomorphic agents like running water, glacier, all these things will act on this rock, and it will mechanically disintegrate it. Mechanically, it will break down. It will get break down after a long time. Okay, after a long time, this is not a very fast process, this is a slow process, and it will take time, long time. After the breaking down of the rocks, it will give us the fragments. So fragments will form from where? From this igneous rock. It will get fragmented mechanically. So these fragments can get deposited in some other place, and through the process of lithification, it will get compact, and they may form a sedimentary rock. A new sedimentary rock can be formed. Sedimentary rock. A new sedimentary rock has formed. What is the source? The fragments has come from igneous rock. Okay. Then again, suppose there is a metamorphic rock on the surface. Metamorphic rocks. These metamorphic rocks get can get converted it can form fragments. These metamorphic rocks again can form fragments. How? Again, this agents, geomorphic agents, the agents that has worked in this igneous rock, the same agents can break down the metamorphic rocks also. So they will form fragments, break down. These fragments can again will form sedimentary rock. Okay. Then again, this previous old sedimentary rocks can fragment by itself. Again, these agents, geomorphic agents, will act, may act on the sedimentary rocks also. They will get fragment, and again from this fragments, a new sedimentary rock can be formed. Okay. Now we have seen how sedimentary rocks can be formed through different processes. Now we'll talk about metamorphic rocks. As we have seen how metamorphic rocks are formed because of changes in the pressure, volume, and temperature. So when there will be changes in the pressure, volume, and temperature, PVT changes, pressure, volume, and temperature, both for the sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. Okay, through a different process, we have seen dynamic metamorphism, thermal metamorphism, all these things, lava in contact with lava, or through tectonic earthquake activity. When these rocks will get converted because of change in the PVT, pressure, volume, and temperature, they will get transformed into metamorphic rocks. So igneous rock can form metamorphic rocks through the changes in pressure, volume, and temperature. Again, the sedimentary rocks can form metamorphic rocks from through the changes in the pressure, volume, and temperature. So this is how metamorphic rocks are formed. Now the next one is igneous rock. How igneous rock will be formed now? As we know that igneous rock, the source of igneous rock is lava. So to form a igneous rock, to form an igneous rock, these two rocks have to become part of the lava first. पहले लावा बनना पड़ेगा तभी igneous rock बन सकता है, क्योंकि the source of igneous rock is lava. अब ये metamorphic rock और sedimentary rock कैसे lava बन सकता है? Now for that we know that convergence. In the last class we have talked about convergence boundary, divergent boundary, transforming boundary. Now we have seen how there is convergence takes place when one plate, small plate moves towards the larger plate. What happened? There is subduction takes place. The smaller one will subduct beneath the larger plate. जब ये subduction होगा तब क्या होगा? इस एरिया में जो भी रॉक्स था, जो प्लेट का जो पार्ट सबडक्ट हो रहा है, इस पार्ट में जो भी रॉक्स था, दे विल कम इन कांटेक्ट विद द एस्थोनोस्फेरिक जोन हियर. दे विल कम इन कांटेक्ट विद द एस्थोनोस्फेयर मेंटल पार्ट हियर, इस क्लास के नीचे जो होगा. तो इसके कांटेक्ट में आते हैं जो ये सब रॉक है यहाँ पर, दे में भी इग्नियस, मेटामॉर्फिक, सेडिमेंटरी, कुछ भी रॉक हो सकता है. सो दिस रॉक्स विल बिकम पार्ट ऑफ द लावा. ओके, दिस रॉक्स कैन बिकम पार्ट ऑफ द लावा. Metamorphic rocks can become part of the lava, and from lava again igneous rock will form. So this is a cycle. This cycle is known as rock cycle. This cycle is known as rock cycle. So we have seen how the different types of rocks are formed from one form to another form. Different types of rocks means igneous rock, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Through this structure, through this diagram, we can see how these different types of rocks can change their form, transform from one form to another, and this process of transformation is known as rock cycle. So this is all about this class, minerals and rocks. So you can expect lots of questions from these minerals and rocks. So you can get the questions from the website here in Careerflite. You can contact the Careerflite, and you can get all the different types of materials, coaching materials, and the type of questions that may be asked. They can ask in the classes in the exam. So for that you can contact the coaching. And if you have any other queries regarding the topics that I am discussing, you can put a comment on the comment section. You can ask in the comment section, then we'll try to clarify your doubt. And with this, I have completed today's class. To see you in the next class. And before that, I will request you to subscribe the channel and please share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.